I'm going to press record. Welcome to one of our last calls. Let's just say it's one of our last. It's week 7. We have one last week after this, but I'm excited. I'm excited because I feel like, first of all, we've had some amazing calls and some amazing content. Would you all agree? Like, we've had some amazing calls. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you for muting. But with that being said, I want to thank you ladies for taking the time and showing up. I appreciate it. I know it is time out of your schedule, but I really hope that this has been something beneficial, that you have received great content, and most importantly, you're taking this back to your team. That's the whole point. So you're taking it to your team. It's exciting. It's new. They're getting on board. You're sharing the videos. I mean, literally use all of that at your disposal, because I would love for you to take the excitement back to your team. So just want to say thank you. We have gone full circle. So if you think about it, we talked about belief, recruiting, goal setting / action. I can finally say the word. Along with the launch of 80 Day, our biggest, program that's launching, as well as now it's kind of taking it back full circle and what we're going to do to set our teams up for success for 2018. And I know it's kind of hard to think, because it's like, holy hell, I'm still trying to finish 2017, right? But the crazy thing is, it's going to be here. It's going to be here really, really, really quick. So I want to make sure that you are ready to rock and roll. So you don't feel like, halfway through the year, like, okay, now I'm ready to really encourage and inspire my team to great action. So with that, this is the funny thing is a lot of the stuff that we talk about is nothing new, and it's nothing that you haven't heard before, but for some reason, you probably need to hear it now. Okay. And all of you are amazingly strong leaders. That's why you have gotten so far in this business. And so first and foremost, I applaud you and I appreciate you for all that you've done, to really inspire your teams to show up every single day. Does it get hard and daunting? Absolutely. Any job, any career does, but it's how you constantly evolve yourself and inspire your team is what's going to make you excited about this and make your team successful. So with that being said, I just kind of ask you ladies, you've taken some of these calls back, I hope, the Kim Carver's on belief, Keyshawn's on goal setting. I mean, I even heard, it's really amazing, Rachel Ball and actually Shelly Heim are not on the call, but they are actually going to be presenting this at Super Saturday in Portland. And they're kind of tag teaming it and teaching it to a larger crowd. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. So I know that the content is getting out there. I know hopefully you shared a lot of that 80-day information that I just kept on throwing up on you about. So I really hope you've taken that back. But I just want to ask you ladies, what have you done so far? So you have shared the content. What have you done to hold your coaches accountable about everything you've talked about so far? And unmute yourself. This is an open question.
I'll go because I don't know how long the boys will behave. We do, and I'm sure some of you do, like, here we go, the ring the bell kind of a thing. Like we have a lot of check-ins going on that are kind of just like, they're staying open. So we posted them up. So we have different check-ins for things like different check-ins for when did you buy your pack, different check-ins for when are you selling to a customer, when are you opening your group. So it's kind of like different ring the bells, I guess you could say, throughout that they're still, I mean, Christmas night, somebody went on and was like, oh my gosh, I just sat down on my computer. So I love that we had this whole month and those coaches that are slow to do things, or they like to see like everybody else do it first and then they come around, or when their paychecks. I love that we've had this month to get organized, because I feel like nobody feels left behind or behind. I mean, even me, we've gone through 2 rounds of the flu, so I even feel a little behind right now, but I know I still have time to get it set up. So I love that. And then the other thing I did that my people have been messaging me that they love, and I don't know if you guys saw this in the round table, I think Amy Silverman posted it, but she's teaching her challengers to hold themselves accountable, and she's having them each create their own album in her group. So I went live last night and kind of just talked about like the expectations. I created a brand new group and I just was like, 2018, I'm going to leave it open. I have like one kind of homepage group. Anyway, I told them that they needed to each create their own album with their own picture. And then every week we're going to update those pictures with like their goal shorts. Like we do a lot of non-scale victory stuff in my group. So like their goal pants or dress or whatever, every week. And then also that can be like their food diary. So then if they come to me and say, this isn't working or I haven't lost weight, then I can go to their album and it has all of just their pictures instead of scrolling through the hundreds in the feed. So that was something I really loved. But that's all I got. Hope that answered that.
Yes, thank you so much. What else have you ladies done as far as to hold your leaders accountable so far, just with what the content that we put out there? Anybody else? Brooke, don't have a baby on us.
Yeah, I was just like, we're all pulling together as a team with our challenge group, just preparing with a little obsessed going into the month of January for 80-Day Obsession. And then I posted a thread in our team page on Facebook and just having the girls post below when they ordered their challenge pack, like taking a screenshot of it or, their completion pack. And just, I posted today about how excited I am about this launch and how I'm already seeing growth, in my income, just like all those things, and how people are really excited about jumping into the new year. And there's so many women that I'm talking to who have felt stagnant with their health and fitness. And this program is giving them excitement again. So just kind of raising excitement with my team and sharing with them the wording that like Kiana shared with us last week in that Facebook thread. That was huge. That has helped so much. And I'm just trying to carry over what I learned and just create a more duplicable system with wording and stuff, I think is where everyone's just really overwhelmed on my team. So I'm trying to simplify it a little bit.
Totally. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else that wants to share? Because there was so many, and I forgot about, there was so many great things shared. Okay. No. If you have something, put it in the comments or just, shut me up and speak. I would love that. So my next question for you is.
Sorry, I have screaming kids here.
I know.
It's
and
Melissa.
You're in and out. Hey, Melissa, you're cutting in and out really bad.
I'll just message in the.
Okay, perfect. So my question for you, and we're going to go back to accountability because I think this is the biggest thing. And what I've noticed as being, working for a Beachbody corporate, being a mentor, being a leader for my coaches, what I have noticed is my coaches come into this never realizing that they're going to have to be a leader, that they're going to have to lead and guide others to success. And I will tell you, if there's anything hard in this business, that's what it is. Would you all agree with me? Right? Excuse me, I had a cough. But with that being said, we come into this business because we want something more. We come into this business because it's changed our lives. We come into this business because we know this is our purpose and what we should be doing. But we were never really sure that we were going to also have to then share it and lead others to success. And not only is that the scariest, most daunting thing, I will tell you it's the most rewarding thing. It makes me think of Ellen. Ellen is a group fitness instructor, a Beachbody Live instructor, and I know there's nothing that she loves more than helping others to feel success with working out. She does it every single day. And it's the same exact thing as being an actual coach to these other leaders that are wanting to build a business, okay? So with that being said, I just want to ask you ladies, and unmute yourself or put it in the comments, but what would be a success list that you would do with your business every single day that will make you successful? So not a to-do list, but a success list. What is it that you would have to do every single day to make your business successful? I want to hear. Oh, stop it. Okay, I'll throw one out there.
I'll share for a second.
Yes. Go.
Sorry, my kids are sick. I'm sick. We've been up all night. But honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is the mentality. Like, in order to be successful, I really would have to believe that I'm capable of being successful and that I'm going to find success. We had an awesome call with Chris Downing earlier in the week, and he talked about all these struggles that we go through, and we shared what we have struggled with over the last year. And he talked about how it's not what we're struggling with. It always comes back to a lack of belief in ourselves and not knowing who we are. And that really struck a chord with me because this year, I had my second baby and all of a sudden I've had to reinvent myself. And I think with coaching, just like with motherhood or anything in life, when we give everything of ourselves, it can be scary because all of a sudden we maybe feel depleted or run down or scared or tired, but we have to have the faith and belief that we're going to be replenished. And so for me, number one on my list would be that belief and trust that I'm going to be successful.
I love that. Okay. Way to start that one off. That was perfect. And then Melissa did say personal development. I agree. And the way you're going to build your belief, your trust within yourself, that you are capable of this is through personal development. Yes. PD. Yes, Melissa Brewer, please.
So I feel like it's just like the standard answer, but just being consistent with all the vitals. Like if you want to be successful, all you have to do are the vital behaviors every day. And I think sometimes we try to like make it so complicated or like change things up, and really like that's good. But to be successful, all you really have to do is just be consistent. And I can tell you like that's really, I think, how my business has grown so much is in the beginning, like I really didn't have an understanding of what I was doing. Like I seriously was flying by the seat of my pants. I had no idea. I'd just like look at my coach and be like, well, she's doing awesome, so I'm just gonna do what she's doing. And I just do it. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea, like when I signed up, I feel really stupid saying this, but I didn't even know I was signing up to like own a business. I was just like, I'm going to sign up and I guess they'll pay me somehow. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. It makes me sound like a total dumb blonde, but I seriously was like, I saw that it worked and I just believed it would work for me. And then I went to work and I just did what my coach told me to do. And I think that's where a lot of coaches start to make things too complicated, as they try to add on so much to their plate that it just becomes too much and they get overwhelmed. I mean, you just have to do like the 4 vital behaviors.
Completely. I completely agree with you. Who wants to go next? Is there anything else that you would put on your success list? Yes, DJ, go.
Melissa, I definitely like the 4 vitals. It's so funny when you were saying you're like, you didn't even know you owned a business. That was so me, because I just loved it. I was like, oh, I love this. Oh, I have a business. And I was like, oh, I got to do the 4 vitals. I'll do it. But I'll say the one thing that I don't even know when it happened. Obviously, when I started believing in myself is when it started happening, but I started putting blinders on. I couldn't tell you what my upline is doing right now. I couldn't tell you what the top coach is doing right now. I really don't care what they're doing right now. But what I do is I care how I share my story and how I share my belief in my brand and who I am through those 4 vitals. And I know for me, that was a huge game changer, and just stop watching the world and just do my thing, because that's who I'm going to attract. So for me, it was definitely just putting blinders on and just doing the 4 vitals based off how I do them.
I love that. Thank you, Rhonda. Deidre, you had your hand raised. Why don't you go?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going to say too. That comparison, like, kind of goes along with the belief and the PD, all of that. They just, I hear, oh, well, I look at this person, she's doing it this way, or I don't have the same transformation. No, they get into that stuff. I know new coaches. I catch myself doing it. I'm like, stop. So yeah, just, I don't know what you would call it. It's like the opposite of success, I guess, like comparison. But yeah, that's where I was going at.
That's perfect. So that's a perfect list if you think about it. Jalen, did you want to go? You unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you also have to have a vision of where you're going. Like, if you're just doing the vitals, but you don't have anything pushing you to get to whatever you want for your business next, there's no reason, like, you're going to push and you kind of just float and go nowhere. And that was me last year. Like, I wasn't in a hurry to do anything, so I didn't go anywhere. It was just like, oh, I'll do the vitals, I'll kind of recruit, and my business totally stalled because I didn't have any goals pushing me to make sure I was doing above and beyond. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Any of my coaches who like fall off the wagon, that's usually the case too. They don't want to set a goal because they don't want to like defeat themselves, if you will, if they don't make it, but then they do nothing. So then they retreat and they go MIA because they have nothing pushing them.
Completely. Thank you. So that was a list of 5 things. Yes, Ellen, go.
I think too, I love what Rachel said about believing in ourselves. I think that is so important, and I constantly need to step up with that too. But I also think in like retrospect, looking back at this at 2017, like I haven't believed enough in the people I'm onboarding either, because I think, I don't know how to say this diplomatically, but I think with this group, I don't need to. You guys all know how painful it is to invest, to love, to hope into someone we recruit, only to see that maybe it wasn't a good fit for them, or they didn't follow through, or they end up leaving, or whatever. And so I think to shield my heart from having that experience over and over and over, I think in 2017, I started to sort of callous my heart and almost expect, not consciously, but subconsciously, almost expect failure from the people I was bringing on. And I can't be like that in this business. I have to be willing to risk the pain of the attrition rate that will happen, because it's network marketing and that's the business I'm in for. And I have to expect more, not just of myself, but of the people that I'm bringing on, even if it doesn't work out for each one of them.
Amen. I love that you brought that up, because I will tell you 90% of my coaches have felt that way this year. And what happens is, Teresa, thank you. And it makes you recluse. It makes you not recruit. It makes you feel, that whole belief within yourself goes out the window. You don't feel like you're a leader. So I appreciate you addressing the elephant in the room, because I realized it wasn't even there, but it absolutely is true. It is true. And I completely agree with you. But I feel like, I really want you to see, obviously, the belief within yourself. And I tell Ellen all the time, I'm like, Ellen, you're an incredible coach. And she's just like, okay. And I'm like, no, I really feel that about every single one of you. I have such a deep relationship with every single one of you that's on this call. And, so if you're having a hard day, it's that message, hey, Britt, what do I do right? Like, send me that message and I will gladly pour your cup up full, because I know each of you as a leader. But it is hard when you feel like somebody takes that time, that opportunity away from you, and you're trying to give, and they take. So I get that, and I appreciate you saying that. I think it's that, the vision of, I'm not going to allow that to be going into 2018, because I know that's not going to set me up for success. I know it's not going to set myself up for success as far as my leaders go, right? So thank you, Ellen, for saying that. So that's a perfect list of 6. Okay. So that's 6 things. So I really hope that you wrote those down, because this is the thing, is it needs to be a success list over a to-do list. Okay. And in this business, a to-do list, holy crap, can be 8 miles long, right? Check into my challenge groups. And yes, of course, one of them should be your challenge groups, but literally a lot of it can be delegated. And I know it's crazy, but it literally, if somebody can do it, 40% of what you can do it, you're supposed to delegate it. To me, that makes my heart like, but literally you need to delegate it, okay? And get your leaders involved. Give them the opportunity to step up to help you. But along with that, a to-do list, like I said, can go all day long. The to-do list I have, before 2018 comes, is through the roof. I will tell you, ladies, like, holy cow. But I promise you, it's not going to really move me. There's certain little things that are going to really help me to define a great year end, and then also start me off to a strong 2018. So that whole thing, the reason why I brought that up, when I asked you ladies this question yesterday, I immediately went into Jeff Hill's office, because we know the same answers. We know, I'm like, okay, what would you suggest? And he brought up the success list, and I completely agree with him. One of his favorite books, one of my favorite books, is The One Thing by Gary Keller. And if you haven't read that book recently or ever read it, I would highly suggest it, because it tells you cannot micromanage, and you can't do multiple things at one time and do well. You have to do that one thing and follow it through. And that's where the success will come. It's in the daunting task of doing it over and really tackling, that big vision of what you're going after. But I love this quote that I found in the book, and it literally says, to-do lists tend to be long. Success lists are short. One pulls you in all direction. The other aims you in a specific direction. One is disorganized directory, and the other is an organized directive. If a list isn't built around success, then that's not where it takes you. If your to-do list contains everything, then it's probably taking you everywhere but where you really want to go. Okay. So I know that was a lot of info, but I want you just to remember those 6 things that we said. That's what will set your business up for success. That's what I hope that you teach your leaders into how to do this business. Okay. So thank you for sharing on that. I hate when I have to sit here and just talk at you. I'd rather interact with you. So I appreciate you guys unmuting yourself and joining me on this. So really tying this all together, because literally we know what to do. We know our success list, right? But can I get a raise of hands? And this is something that we all have a hard time with. So feel vulnerable and please let me know. Do you hold your leaders accountable? By raise a hand. Okay. Couple. Okay, cool. But with that being said, and thank you, Melissa Galway. I haven't been. Absolutely. It's really, 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 and Brooke, I'll read yours in just a second. It is the most important thing that you did. Oh, you raised your hand, Brooke. Where'd you go? Yes. Did you mean to raise your hand?
I was just raising my hand with what you said. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow. Okay, perfect. I didn't want to ignore you. So, but literally, ladies, and I mean this out of love, and because it is one of the hardest things to develop as a leader. But if you go in and cast your vision and you get your new coaches why, or your existing coaches why, it's 2018. A lot of those emotions are going to come forward that they're going to want to accomplish what they set out 2017, 2016, 2015, whenever they signed, right? But with that being said, you as a leader have to hold them accountable. It is the hard conversations. It's the hardest thing that you're going to do, but I can promise you right now, it will be the most rewarding thing that you do. If you can think back, if you played sports, if you had a very passionate, encouraging parent, that was my father was that way. And to think about that one person that said, you know what? No, I'm not going to let you settle for that. I'm not going to allow you to give up on yourself. I know you're capable of this. Like literally, who was that person in your life? And go back and be that to somebody else. When you give of yourself, when you make other people successful, that is true success. Okay. So if there's anything that we've talked about all recruiting, belief, goal setting, action, whatever it may be. If there's one thing that you can put on your 2018 to-do list, I would really highly suggest is holding your leaders accountable. Check-ins. If you think about this, right? We're on our 7th call. Next week is our 8th week call. After this, I'm going to do a follow-up. And I expect you guys, that's something that really, maybe you should do that with your coaches. Every 8 weeks, start something new. How does Melanie Mitro get where she's at? She literally has a 90-day plan. Her coaches and challengers know where they're going next. They have a vision. They have a plan. And so they stay to the course. Because it's one of those things, if we don't stay to the course, we're constantly going in and out all around. And it doesn't take you anywhere. So if there's anything that you can really do, and maybe you have been holding them accountable, but maybe it's taking a step further, having the hard conversation. Maybe it's me reaching out to Jalen, what's going on, girlfriend? She expresses it, and I just say, you know what, can I be honest with you? You say you want A, B, C. I just don't see you doing any of those things. And you know what? It may be that conversation, they're like, crap, she just totally called me out. Or maybe they'll get angry and hang up on you. Or maybe they'll swear at you. But you know what? I promise you, if they know that you're doing it out of love and that you're there to support them and to teach them to be successful and not to give up on this business, and most importantly, not to give up on themselves, they are not going to be mad at you. They are going to be thankful. Okay. So this whole thing coming full circle is because you have shared this content with your leaders. Now I need you to go back and be like, okay, you told me in 2016 you were going to do this. It still hasn't happened yet. What's your plan this year? If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, oh crap. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Or maybe it's changed. Maybe, whatever it may be, but you have to ask your leaders where they're at, and you really have to get in the trenches and see how they're feeling. Does that make sense? And I know, like I said, a majority of you signed up and you never, ever thought you'd be a leader. The beautiful thing is you can learn to be a leader. You can learn how to do it. Melissa and also Rhonda both spoke. Okay, Rhonda's upline coach is Danielle Natoni. Melissa Brewer's coach is Michael Folsom. I will tell you, those two are the most nonsense leaders I know of. Why? Do your crap, right? Hashtag do your crap. Like literally, they call you out on it. And if you think, like both of them said, well, my leader just showed me what to do, how to do, and I went and did it. Now, obviously, we would love for you to sign somebody just like you, but think about that. Okay? You need to really understand, how am I going to be able to lead and mentor my coaches better? If you spend $15 on personal development this year or in 2018, do these 2 books. Have any of you ever read these little John Maxwell $5, they're like $8 actually, on Amazon. I think if you go through him, you can get them for $5. But literally you'll read it on a plane ride for an hour. It is maybe 100 pages, mentoring 101 and leadership 101. Okay. Invest in yourself. Really take the moment, and this will walk you through it. If you're trying to get your leaders to jump on board, do this book together, whatever it may be. But these are short, simple. And I promise you, if you just focus on that leadership quality and holding them accountable, that's where it's going to come together. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me just see where I'm at here. Also, how many of you either do the BAT or have a business activity tracker that you use? Okay, raise a hand. Okay, the majority of you do. So I would just say that's another thing. The BAT isn't sexy. It isn't glamorous. But I promise you, if you set that into play, and every time before you have a conversation with your leaders that they have to send that into you so you can see what they're doing, that is where you're going to know where to spend your time. Okay, that's one of the best tools. And if you don't have if you haven't created one, use ours in the back office. It's perfect. There's the new updated version that came out maybe 8 months ago and literally has 20 minutes of personal development. Did I work out today? Like those hand in hand things that they need to be doing every single day to set them up. And that's more of a to-do list per se, but almost every single thing on there will create the success that they need. It's the fundamentals, is the 4 vital behaviors, right? Okay. So, and really, going to this topic, like, how am I going to now take this all back? It is in the fundamentals. It is showing up every single day. It is casting your vision. It's getting them on board to join you in this. It's setting goals right from the beginning. And if they set the goal and it's the same thing they set last year, have that conversation. You said that same thing last year. What's going to make it different this year? And ask that question. How can I hold you accountable? And then some will say, I actually need you to come down hard on me. Okay, perfect. We'll come down hard on you. Okay, whatever it may be, like, get their buy-in, get their belief, and know that they are part of the team. And then cast your vision, like literally your 2018 goals. Have you guys started to write down your 2018 goals? Okay, Deidre, you're okay. You have 3 days. Make it happen. You're good. You're good. You're like, build my house. It's almost done. But literally, you should be casting your vision of where you're going and what you're accomplishing in 2018. Like, this is my vision. This is where I'm going. I want you to be part of it. How are you going to be part of it? That you're a key leader within it. This is what you can help us do. Like, get their buy-in. And I've also seen within this business, my coaches have the hardest time talking about their goals and their vision for the team with their team. They feel like they're a little lone ranger doing it on their own. And then it gets to the end of the year and they're trying to hustle and bustle. And then they have to ask for everybody's buy-in. It's like, whoa, get the buy-in from the beginning. If you're trying to be an elite team without them knowing it, how is that an elite team? They need to know. They need to know that vision, right? Okay, so if you can just break it down and make it simple, because we have little Josie, oh my gosh. If you can just literally take it piece by piece. If I was a new coach, what would you do? Like, literally, and write it out for yourself and stick to those things. Don't do anything more. Don't put more on your plate. Simplify it all. Okay. I want you guys to chime in. What are your thoughts on this? Like, how do you feel about holding your coaches more accountable? Go ahead, Melissa.
Yeah. As you were like talking about all these things, and I saw the form you sent us, and I haven't filled it out yet, or like all of your people probably. But I really I think I'm going to send a form to all of my coaches and be like, what are your goals this year? How can I hold you accountable? What is your love language, or what do you like, tough love, or do you, like, how do you like to receive coaching or mentorship? And hopefully after that, because I am not a great tough lover. Like, I feel like I take tough love really well, but I get so nervous that if I give it, they're going to be like, screw this, I'm done. And I just get so nervous that I'm going to offend someone. And I need to really grow this year in that aspect and realize that, the reason I love it is because it helps me, even though sometimes it sucks to hear it, it helps me to become a better coach. And I love it when, like, Micah or Jaylyn, or when you, Brittany, when you guys give me that tough love, because it helps me to see the things that I can get better at. But I am not good at giving it. So that's my biggest goal. And I think I'm going to send all of my coaches a form asking them for feedback. And I think that will help me know, like, who I need to invest my time in.
I agree with you completely. And I will say, just tacking on that tough love conversation, do it out of love. Like and even that, this is hard for me to share with you, but I just want to be upfront and honest. Like, just come from a place of love. Anytime that you say, hey, can I be honest with you? They're like, yeah, of course. And then, come from a place of love and understanding and caring, because at the end of the day, you want them to be doing what they want to be doing, right? And that's something that's going to allow them to progress and move forward as a person and as a leader. So I just say, if you come from a place of love, and the great thing is, Melissa, is as soon as you have 1 or 2 conversations, it becomes very simple. It's like, okay, I got this, right? And then going back to the Google form that I sent you ladies, you all got it in your email, unless you push me to junk. But literally this year I'm doing something different, okay? And I would suggest that you do the same thing. It took me 5 minutes to create it on Google Forms. And
Britt,
then
can I just say that was what I was going to say, is that's what I'm going to do with my team, is that Google form that you made. I love that. So
perfect. Yes. And literally, and it was kind of scary, because I will admit to you, our West region is where, if you think about it, we started in California. We have the first coaches per se. And so I'm looking at some of these people, I'm like, oh goodness, like, do I send it to this person? Because I've never talked to this person. This person hasn't really existed in my career here at Beachbody for 3 years. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it off to them, because you never know where people are at. But I promise you will allow them to either step in or step out. So I'm glad that you saw that. I said that yesterday. Jalen, what were you going to say, hon?
So I was going to say that, like, that was my biggest thing, is like, I didn't know how to keep my leaders accountable to their goals. And I always felt weird. Like, I knew their goal was to get back to diamond. A lot of them were fallen diamonds, and it was like getting nowhere. And I didn't want them to think I was contacting them like, hi, you need to be diamond. So I started doing, just in November, I started doing like one-on-ones with my fallen or current diamonds, and saying, okay, what is your game plan for the month? What is your goal? So it was their goals, so that when I reached out to them, I'm like, okay, you said you wanted this, where are you at on that? So it wasn't me like, you said you wanted diamond by this date, and I had 2 diamonds get their diamonds back, because I could contact them without it being weird. Because before, I just didn't even know how to approach it. But now it was like, you said you wanted this and this and this. Where are you at on that? What can I help you with? And every time they were like, I'm doing this. And it opened up a conversation. It was super simple. And it wasn't me like, are you diamond yet? Like, you know what I mean? And they weren't diamond all year. Like, they had fallen forever, and they finally got it back, because it was like their goals. Anyway, I thought that has helped a ton. So I plan to keep doing that. And I want to do the form too, because I just think the combo of having that one-on-one, like, leaders want that with their coach. And at that point, they kind of deserve one-on-one. They're not brand new coaches, So it's like, 6 coaches a month, a half-hour session, and they just hash it out. And so that's worked really well.
Well, good. And I would say do exactly that. I love asking the question. Christy Lyons isn't on this call today, but she does that every single month in her team page. And she literally says, okay, who's working for what this month? And then based on who answers, that's who she knows she's working with. And then she can have that conversation. Hey, you said you were going to do this. What's going on with this? Okay. So I love that, Jalen. Continue to do that. I have thought of one last thing too. Oh crap. It was good too. Maybe not that good. Clearly 3 hours of sleep didn't really work well for me. Okay. Who unmuted themselves? Somebody? No. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go.
Okay. Cool. So one of the things that I've been doing for my team this year is throughout the year, I went like 1 month where we have actual team calls, another month where there's a live call where the speaker just goes in live. Well, the last 2 months of the year, like, we had some curveballs thrown, and instead of looking at it as obstacles, I looked at it as the plot twist that we were waiting for. And the people that I've been working with, like, they want to work, and they just didn't have the leadership taking them there. So that has been such a blessing, and I've been talking about that a lot. But I asked this group to exchange calls with me, and one of our best calls of the year was Meredith. And literally, if you need someone to bring fire to your team and to give them some freaking tough love in your face around Success Club, that's the person you need on your call. Because I walked away from that call with like a page of notes like this, and I was like, holy shit, I am not holding my team to a standard that they are, when they're telling me I want to build, I want to make $1,000 a week, but they're not even hitting Success Club. And I'm like, you can get there, but you have to do the behaviors. I'm not going to them and saying, listen, you're telling me you want to make $1,000 a week, but you're not even hitting $1,000 a month or $100,000 a month with not hitting Success Club. Like, you don't have a business. And I totally have tried to move into a combo of not leaning so much towards numbers, because I really love Milan Jensen's 500 PB. Like,
Oh, we're losing you.
Like, fallen into that. But at the end of the day, like, there's certain activities you absolutely have to do. Oh, okay. I'll stop right there because I do have to run. But yes, if you want someone to bring fire to your team, get her on clarity, and she'll teach you something too. Like, really, really, really how to hold your team accountable.
Thank you, dear. We heard what you were saying at the end. That was perfect. Thank you. And I agree. Trade calls, become friends, really work together. Don't do this alone. So I love that. Okay. So I think this is the thing to take away from this call. Share what you haven't shared yet, meaning Kim's call, Keyshawn's call, any of our calls, share them with your team, and then have a conversation around it. How are you going to hold them accountable? If your team is struggling with belief, the Kim video would be perfect. Okay, now what are we going to do to carry on from that? We're going to read personal development every single day. We're going to, encourage belief within our leaders. Like, what are you going to do? Create the action behind it. If you create the action and the accountability behind it, you will see really all this transform into success for you. Okay. I will also challenge you, the BAT. Find a BAT, use your BAT, go back to your BAT. I know many of you said you are using it. Have you used it consistently? If not, make that a requirement. Like, make sure they are. And I'd also encourage one last thing, and this was the thing I'm like, oh, this was good, was get your leaders on a power hour. Show them what you do. And I say that because my coaches who did this years ago, maybe a year or two ago, that's what set their coaches up for success. That allowed them to make sure they were doing the right activities. Because I will tell you, are your leaders doing the right activities that are going to move their business forward? Who knows? And I've had leaders that go into their team page and say, hey, I'm doing my power hour in 30 minutes. Who wants to jump on with me? And just opens up a Zoom. Okay. And does it. And literally get in that habit so they can see the consistency of you being a leader, showing up every single day, doing the hard work, and then they know the right activities to do. Okay. So I just challenge you to really reiterate those practices that they need to put into play and hold their hand a little bit more and see if they're willing to jump on and really do it. Okay. So that's the whole thing. I want this to come full circle. The accountability, if you still have a hard time with accountability, let's find a great book. Share what that is. I will definitely, I read it in almost every single one of my leadership books, but I would say let's find something that's going to help you hold your leaders accountable. John Maxwell definitely is a great one if you want to start with those two. The next or the last couple things, and I'm going to allow you ladies to get off. And like I said, I'm going to bed so I can go see my little baby nephew. I'm going to call my little nephew now. Anyways, is get some great personal development behind your backs this time of year. And I know we talked about these so many times, but go back to them. The 12-week year. What are you doing with your leaders to set goals, right, for 12 weeks? The next one, the one thing where I talked about that, obviously one of the best books if you haven't read it yet or your leaders read it. But these two were the most monumental books of my year of 2017 that I think really were the best for our business. First and foremost, if you're having problems with your coaches committing or even your challengers, is going to Brian Tracy's No Excuses. Do not listen to this on Audible. I've told you 8 billion times, you will fall asleep. I think Deidre did it, or maybe Kate did, or somebody did it. But read the book. So great, especially for your challengers. It's amazing. And then the last one is kind of this is a hard 6 months to 6 figures. Okay. And I will say, well, if people are like, well, I already make 6 figures. Okay. Well, then make 7. Like, literally, but it sets up the great practice of network marketing and really what our business is all about. It is very action oriented. You write in it. Like, it is such a great book, but I would say go back and find some good personal development and then create a system around it to do it with your coaches. Okay. So then every single day you have something to talk about. You can have them go live about it. That's one of my favorite things I heard a coach was doing. Literally would make them read 2 chapters a week and go live on their team page. And they could not watch the other recordings until they went live because it had to be their own things that they obviously were talking about that they were getting out of the book. But do those things. Okay. Before I say what our next call is going to be like, does anybody want to any last little comment about this? Accountability. Do you feel like you can do it? Do you feel like you need to do it? Yes. Yes, we all need to do it, right? We do. And that's what I'm doing now, obviously, with all my forms, all my surveys. Good gosh, you ladies are probably like, really, Britt? And I'm like, yeah, take the dang survey, okay? So literally, like, find something that's going to work for you. I know that's going to obviously help me with what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to say our next call, of course, it's going to be BYOB, bring your own beverage. Yes, it'll be 10:30 a.m. and I will be at work. So mine will be water, Starbucks for Rachel. Awesome. I don't care. You can drink a cocktail at 9:30 or 11:30 a.m. I don't care what time zone you're on. You bring it, okay? But with that being said, before that, I am going to break down the new Elite, okay? And what does that mean? Yes, the Elite program is changing. Once again, it always changes every single year. I know. Imagine that, right? And yes, many of you are saying, awesome, I'm working towards it. Many of you may say, you know what? I don't know. I will tell you this, if you do the activities around it, you will be working your business and building a foundation, regardless if you're going for it or not. It sets you up for a foundation of leadership, of recruiting every single month, of hitting Success Club. It is the fundamentals. And if you're like, well, I'm not really a recognition person. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Let's talk about it so you're aware of it, because I promise you, if you then go teach it to your team and have people that want to do it, they're going to have a little skin in the game because they know they are setting themselves up for Elite or Premier or whatever it may be, okay? And it is changing. It will be announced. They said today. I doubt it. A lot of other little elements in it. So I'm going to break it down. It won't be long. And then we are going to do our little cheers. And we're going to finalize this 8 weeks that we just had together. Does that sound good? Okay, ladies. Is there anything you want to say? I'm done talking. I'm over it. Unmute yourself. Anybody. Talk to me.
Brittany, I just want to say thank you for all the time that you pour into us. This year's been tough, and I'm ready to be back. Sorry, my video turned off for some reason. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you do for us. And I so appreciate you never giving up on us and seeing that belief in us. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, sweetie. I appreciate you. Thank you. Anybody else? Any last hurrahs? No.
Ditto.
Hey.
What you said.
Hey, I'll take the ditto. I love it. Okay, ladies, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Let me know what you need. I'm obviously in the office tomorrow, and then we have a break, and then we're in the office a couple days, and we fly to Super Saturday, so it's going to get real quick. So let me know what you need. I appreciate you. I'll see you next Thursday for sure, but have an amazing day, okay? Okay, bye, ladies. Thank you.